Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And now that I've got a working prototype of my flying Skybase adventure wizard set up, what I really need to do is build one that is not terrible looking. Now, I could try and come in here and make this one a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but I feel like realistically that is just not going to happen. I feel that I would be better served, perhaps, by coming out this way here and building a new one kind of off and up this way. Oh, thank you, spawning wisps down there, for making your delightful noise that brings such joy into my heart. So, we're just going to come up here and just make sure we have enough clearance from our tower here. And we are going to set this up as a 12 by 12 platform, maybe? I don't know. I feel like this thing can only move... Wow. Thank you, blocks, for finally breaking. This thing can only move 1,000 blocks total in it. Each frame motor will fail if there's more than 1,000 blocks connected to the frame. So, once this is back over here, I'll go ahead and set it to park so I can steal all the pieces for it. If I was going to do a single level, whatever the footprint of that level is, in this case 7, 8, 9, 10... If I had a 100 block frame here, then I would assume that they would probably end up with another, I don't know, 50 blocks on top of it. So that's 150. That's 10% of my total volume or mass or whatever that the engine's capable of moving in one level. Now, if I wanted to make this multi-leveled, which I think actually in this case I do, I probably should not make the actual core frame too massive. So I'm going to start with a 10 by 10 frame, and once this is kind of parked, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Actually, is that a good location? Could I just fly up here? If I came up through the levitator, yeah, this is actually perfect. So we will shut this off now without placing any stone panel covers. We will verify our awesome access levitator here works. Whoosh. Awesome. I might end up wanting to add levitators to some of these other corners too, although that will let in more rain. But, okay. So, if we know that this initial thing here is going to be 10 by 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, we're going to want to start thinking about what we will mount in the given places. It seems to me like this level should be dedicated to redstone and redstone-related objects, and then I would go up another level, and so like, for example, what I want is to have my frame motors all integrated into this part. So let's go ahead and move these out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That should put me even with that. Okay, so we'll put all our frame motors and our crazy blue electric stuff down here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, about using that sort of system is that our solar panels, for example... What, am I on top of the levitator? Oh, I am. Our solar panels, for example, will have to be on the highest tier, or they'll have to be on flanges that stick out. So, for example, if I wanted to have this lower one be a 10 by 10 square, then I might want, for example, my next tier up. Let's say that we give this a 3 height here, just to make sure that there's enough wiggle room. Now, if I was designing this not for video use, I'd probably only make it 2 high, so that way it would be easy for me to just, have... I don't want to waste more blocks than I have to. However, I want to make things that look good for you guys. And we'll come back in and decorate this whole frame later. But so we will go ahead and have an 8 by 8 frame here. Whoa, do not want to use those. Those are for later. Those are our electric-powered tube frames. Those are good for moving things through pneumatic tubes and for conveying redstone current. Okay. So, I'm thinking that roughly I'm going to want to model this top part here after my other Hermitcraft Feed the Beast room, where I had in the middle my 4x4 grid, and then I had places to store different bottles of different different jars of things. And maybe the way to even do this would be to have these kind of elevate like so. And so this will actually give me additional height here to have my flaming cauldrons and everything. So yeah, this might work. We'll have to figure out how this actually pressures us for space. So if I go ahead and I set up, let's see, the wonderful table here, which is made up of arcane treated, what is it? It's some sort of special pressure treated arcane stone blocks. I'm going to want to come up here and place these accordingly. And what I'll probably also end up doing in the process is place in one netherrack in each of these places here, so that our cauldrons can be above that. Okay, so far I put those both on the same side there and there. Whoa, do not want that there. So this will give us 4 cauldrons, and we can set up 4 arcane alembics off of each of them. Now, I'm going to want to go ahead and bring that in like so here. And let's see. Now, unfortunately, putting the fire in here is going to mean that the cauldrons and the alembics are higher than that. So we have 2 options. We can either knock the netherrack down 1 lower, which will kind of have it running into our headspace here, but which might be acceptable, or we can move the whole system up 1 higher, which might be preferable, actually. So now that I've lit all this up with the little fires there, I can go ahead and set that down. And I think this will be an interesting way to do this. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose the ability to have as many arcane alembics as I would like with this setup. Although, realistically, they're so expensive anyway. I've only got 1 on this entire server, so maybe that's not the end of the world. But, like, for example, I want to be able to take... Probably should not have broken that without the stuff from it. Whatever. Don't fall into the fire. Awesome. So now we would just go ahead and place our crucibles like so. And our arcane alembics would go... Oh, I'm going to probably have to place panels on these before they move or before they work properly. But, okay. So we would have, you know, places to throw stuff. We'd have places to store... I don't know. It just feels kind of cramped. It's too small. And also, like, even though I'm going to want the... all the engineering stuff to be down in here... I'm going to want to be able to fly it from up here. So maybe I need to build some sort of, I don't know, cockpit or some sort of extended ring of power throughout here. If I could forge something that would bring them all and in the darkness bind them, then my ideas would just be able to actualize without as much real problem. Also, this looks kind of silly right now. Let me think on this a minute, and I will get back to you. Okay, so I thought maybe I would give it kind of a spiral around the outside here, and I could then affix any solar panels or anything else like that that I might need around the outside of there. So that way I'd have a clear exposed view of the sky, as well as some places, you know, to look down upon my creation and laugh or despair. Whatever it is people do. Fortunately that opens this up to kind of come back up and out more here. So if I wanted to, I could actually kind of bring this whole platform here out a significant amount, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this gives me kind of these extra 9 or 3x3 workspaces here by extending out this way too. Now I'm already on like my 4th stack, so I've used 240 blocks or so just on my frame, which is unfortunately enough blocks that I'm gonna run into trouble if I keep everything expanding at this rate. Now, one thing I'm gonna want to do is I'm gonna want to figure out if this is far enough out. Like if I put magical jars full of different aspects out here, is this close enough? Whoa, let's not jump in the fire. Also, is that close enough that this thing won't cause problems? Also, I am going to have to figure out a place to set up my eternal spring, which is not just a, expression about how we would all love for flowers to continue spawning forever, but I need a place that water will spring forth from eternally. Now, one way to possibly do that would be to find a place in here, like in the structure itself, that would naturally accommodate such a spring, and then to expose it. Like, for example, if I put the spring underneath here and then possibly had a gap or something, that might make sense. At the same time, though, I'd like to store as much mechanisms and things like that underneath here as I can, too. And I'm hoping to not have to build in this entire frame, because if I do, that's going to be another 100 blocks probably, or whatever, 81 blocks, 77 blocks, if I fill in this whole floor here. So I'm going to have to figure out some stuff with that. Let's go ahead, though, and start off by grabbing our awesome and excellent solar panels. And we will place those initially at the beginning of the tail here, just outside of the range of these things. So, I'm going to have to place panels first, aren't I? So let's go ahead and grab us some of these. And just to verify that these are indeed panels, not covers. Yep, they're panels. Okay, great. So let's make some of those that are not hideous, and that should, really cheer things up a bit. What would be a good material from which to construct said panels that are not hideous? I mean, maybe I should just use stone panels at first. I wonder if those count as blocks toward the hole. That would be something to check on, too. But for right now, let's go ahead and just grab a bunch of stone panels, because, why not? They will get us moving along toward the completion of this. Okay. So anywhere it's currently raining on will be a valid location for the solar panels. Great. And we can go ahead and place that there. Now, I'm going to want to... Oh, actually, I forgot. Here's the joy of this. I can actually run stuff along the sides here as well. So I can go ahead and set up within our framework here that our battery box, which I can grab, and which hopefully will maintain its charge, because right now it's supercharged. Awesome. And might not have maintained its charge. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Okay, whoa. I can go ahead and set that internally right here. And, ooh, what I might even want to do is run this wire underneath, this blue electric conduit. Do I have any of that that happens to be sitting here? Cobblestone jacketed blue wire. Whoops. Why is that not breaking? Do I need to use a special tool on that? Uh-oh. Does this stuff not break when it's raining out? Okay, blue alloy wire. Probably should leave some of this stuff in place so I can remember how I made all of this. But whatever. Okay. So, we just fly down underneath here. And add some of this. Whoa. Very difficult. Very difficult indeed. Okay. Well, at this point, we have all of our platforms set up along the side there, and we have all of our solar panels running from cable down here into here. Now, other equipment that we have that we're going to want on board the ship, just to have it, is things like this wonderful blue electric alloy furnace. I don't think we're going to need this iron furnace much, but so I'm going to go ahead and make some room in my inventory and get that moved along. Okay, so right now we've got our pulse coming out through there, and if we turn that on, then that should carry through the power of the AND gate. Really? Now it's not pulsing anymore. Dang it. Okay, I have successfully hooked this up, so it will now begin moving over to this platform area here, which I've kind of cleared a little bit of. I shaved off some of my old platform, and once it's in place, why did it stop? It should still be running. For some reason, this trigger here did not trigger properly. Or no, this one's out of power. Okay. We can work with that. So to fix our power constraint issue, I will likely need to run this over to here, which seems completely fair. So once this one gets more power, I can re-trigger it, and we will have our automated movement resume. Okay, now we need to stop it before it actually collides with this other frame. But doing all the stuff underneath here will be easier now. Unfortunately, I've got this kind of hooked up with a master switch and some other switches. I gotta see if there's a better way to run the different cables so they don't connect with each other. Okay, well, let's go ahead and shut off the main power here. So that'll kill the timer. What I didn't realize was I was trying to use jacketed cable when I really should have been using insulated cable to avoid, for example, this interacting with this. And so let's real quickly go ahead and show what I've learned about insulated cable. To make insulated cable, you put your redstone, red alloy wire stuff in there. Then you surround it on any side by wool. So there's wide insulated wire. And if I go ahead and do the same over here, I'll get red insulated wire, and presumably never the twain shall meet. So, what I could do, which, of course, I have now, now I have moved the whole platform off of the, buildable area here. I built this platform so I could build stuff, and, okay, so why is this not going? Oh yeah, I gotta turn that on. Also gotta turn this off. Do not want the frames fighting each other. So that'll begin pushing us back over here so I can get down underneath and do my work. But in short, these jacketed cables are actually designed to make red alloy wire freestanding. In any case where you got something to attach it to, like right here, don't really need it. So we can just go ahead and wait for this to continue. And once this entire platform is over our workspace here, I'll go ahead and shut this off up here. What I really should do is rig it so when you turn on one of the directional things, it shuts off all the other directional things. So, okay, if I come here, I can break this and go ahead now and run. Okay, see, so unfortunately, is that still moving? No, that's not powered. Okay, so this is going to need to be insulated with a different colored wire. So now I can run my red alloy wire to here and be fine. I need to connect my jacketed cable. Oh, will that not connect? Dang it. Okay, so the piece that actually touches here might not be allowed to be insulated. So we'll put an uninsulated one here and then have it connect with the jacket. Great. And so now that saves me a ton of space. It's still not very pretty, though. One thing that I tried doing to make it a little bit prettier was to set it up over on this side, inside of this pit, or inside of this indentation here. Which, really, I suppose there's no reason I couldn't do that over here as well. Now, the trick to that is just to knock out one of these and replace it like so. And now I'm going to have to put in some panels here for that to connect to. So I put my red alloy wire in there and connect it to my red insulated wire there. And bada bing, now the whole thing just looks nice and pretty smooth. Now I still need to be sure that my frames do in some place connect this lower part with the upper part. And so luckily I've got this block right here that does that job of connecting all of these things. So let's go ahead and turn it back on and verify that it does indeed. So our timer's still on. Are we still going to move this way? Awesome, we can turn that off then. And so now I need to essentially do the same with all of these. And I've got plenty of AND switches here, and I've got the technique down pretty much. Okay, at this point I've managed to get this all hooked up, so each of these AND gates does not interfere with each other. We've got the pulse that comes through when the master switch is on, and as long as this is enabled, if I fly up to any of these towers, I can hit a switch that's in the direction I want to move, and the ship will begin moving in that direction. So that one takes me that way. Switch that goes this way will, take me this way. Now, I'm sure there's a way to do this with, reconfiguring the same set of frames, but for all intents and purposes, this is pretty good. This is all I really need here. So I've got my 4 sets of frames. Ultimately, I want to add altitude control and stuff. Also, I've accidentally merged into the other piece of this, which, at this point, at least I know that I can add a lot more frames and not have everything completely shut down on me. So, in conclusion, switches. In conclusion, I have 4 switches. I can move in 4 directions, which is better than I ever could do with this old thing. If you remember, I used to have to manually reconfigure the frames to change directions. Now I can just go. So, I'm pretty happy with her. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here, but hopefully next time I can make this thing a lot more pretty and functional. So, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.